Hello, I'm Dr. Edward, the Healing Vet, and we're here for my weekly regular conversation where we talk about themes and ideas and concepts that, while they might be a little bit more abstract and maybe not so obviously important to our pets, are incredibly important. And today I'm talking about vulnerability and faith. So vulnerability is all about opening up to other people, to other beings, and showing them what's going on here inside. Being vulnerable emotionally is uncomfortable, nearly always in my experience. And it's like a muscle. The more you practice vulnerability, the stronger it gets. But being vulnerable, I found that the first person I need to be vulnerable with is myself. And the more vulnerable I am with myself, the less stuff I have stuck down and stored away, the less frustration, the less sadness, the less grief gets hidden away inside, and anything like that that's kind of stored away that I haven't been brave enough to be with and to feel tends to leak out everywhere into my interactions with the animals. And I noticed a little while ago in the last few weeks that I was starting to get a little bit kind of short and grumpy with my animals. Whenever that happens, it's like it's a big red flag for me. Why am I suddenly not patient with my beautiful animals? And what I'd noticed was that I'd kind of just lost that trace or that thread of vulnerability with myself, and I was really anxious. So then, because I wasn't connected with my anxiety with what was going on, and it comes from, you know, things now and things in the past and old stuff coming up, all sorts of things. It doesn't really matter where it comes from. But as soon as I could connect with and feel that anxiety and talk about it with my beloved and allow myself to just be present and anxious, I relaxed a whole lot. So vulnerability, the more vulnerable I am with me, the more deeply I can connect with my pets, the more I can open up to them, the more I can be present with them. And this goes through all my relationships in life. It's not just with my animals, it's with my beloved Anthea, who I live with my family, with my clients. The more vulnerable I can be to what's going on with the animals who I see as a holistic veterinarian and with their humans, the more I can help these animals and people, because the more I can see and feel and sense what's really going on under the surface. And often with disease in animals and people, there's a whole lot of stuff underneath the cover, hidden away, that isn't very obvious, that's more emotional or in the realms of the energy systems and consciousness and things like that, that are incredibly important in the illness that is presented, the symptoms that are presented. So how do you be vulnerable? Number one, show up and come into your body. Be present, be here now, bring all of your awareness and just be here in this beautiful earth suit thing that we inhabit as we make our way through this amazing life that we're blessed to have and to live, and be willing to feel what's going on with your emotions. Now, the more you do this, the happier your pets are going to get, because I got to tell you, your pets don't mind your emotions. In fact, your pets are so goddamn empathic and sensitive that they are feeling all your emotions already anyway. And the more you suppress them, the more those become kind of like a weight on your pets rather than just, emotional weather or whatever. So the more that you can be present with how you're feeling with your pets, the more your pets are going to be able to connect with you, and the deeper your relationship with your pets is going to become. So, but how does faith fit into this? Well, I found that at times in my life, I've lost faith in myself. And that's a dangerous thing, I think. We all need to have faith in our ability to be good human beings, to show up, to do the things that the next best thing that needs to be done, to care for ourselves, to care for our family of humans and animals that we live with, and our co-workers and the planet and everything else like that. Now, pretty much every time I've lost faith in myself, there's been a simultaneous lack of self-vulnerability. And like I said, I can't be vulnerable with other beings effectively if I'm not vulnerable with and to my beautiful self. So faith is an interesting thing. I mean, there's a very religious connotation to faith, but that's not quite what I'm talking about. In the last few months, I got to a point where I just kind of thought, everything's crap and nothing's working and I don't like it and I have no faith that anything's going to get any better. I'd lost this sense of my life having meaning, being meaningful, and having meaning in the greater kind of matrix of humanity and this planet and the universe and everything that is. But then, this morning I got up earlier. The last few days this week, I've decided I'm going to get up half an hour earlier so I can actually have more time to do the self-care practices that really nourish my life. And I find that the more that I really lean into doing my resistance exercise, my meditation, my energy processes, qigong and things like that, that builds faith for me in myself. And then I looked out the window and saw the sun just rising up and thought, God, this is just such a beautiful world that we live in. There's so much beauty. But when I've lost vulnerability and I'm tangled up and suppressed and not really able to connect with myself and I've lost faith in the world and lost faith in myself, then I forget to look at the world and see, wow, I'm alive. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. I have beautiful animals who share my life. I have beautiful beloved humans and family. I live in a country where there's no war active. There's so many things that I can be grateful for. And the more that, and this is not to bypass feelings of anxiety or fear or shame or sadness or grief or any of these things that are uncomfortable. I want to meet them and be vulnerable to them and totally inhabit my body and be present with them. And then I want to have faith that there are things to be grateful for. If nothing else, I can have faith that I have things in my life that I can be grateful for. And the more attention I give to the things that I'm grateful for, the happier my life becomes. And the more inspired I become to go out and do the things that need to be done, but not in it's a hard day sort of way. It's whoa, I get to do all these things. I have a body that moves, that walks, that I can hold things. That one finger's still a little bit sore where the horse broke it. And I can eat food and enjoy flavors and I can enjoy beauty in the world and I can go out and be of service and make a difference by working with people and animals and bringing healing and connection and presence and understanding. So I encourage you to be vulnerable to yourself, be vulnerable to the other beings in your life, and to really work on having faith in yourself and finding and creating and maintaining faith in something greater than yourself. Because my experience is that it makes life a lot better, and anything that makes life a lot better makes my pets a lot happier. Thank you so much for listening today. Love to hear from you in the comments. You can join us and join the channels, like the Facebook page, all those kinds of things. Love to hear from you in the comments. If you say something, I will reply to you. Have a beautiful day with your pets and give them a pat for me. See you next week.